All right, this is session 3 of Monsterhearts 2, Mercy Falls 83, Series 2. Bam. I will come up with better names, but for YouTube, who cares? Only 10 people care. All right, so let's talk about, let's frame up scenes, or let's figure out what we're going to be doing right now. So Sophia's back. That's awesome. I think I'd like to kick off with Sophia. You had mentioned off the call, Sid, like possibly like hiding the book because you know that Jacqueline saw you with it, right? And I kind of love the idea of you hiding the book in the forest and hearing Julia in her box. I think that's a great scene. Julia, how do you feel about that?
It sounds appropriate. I can't expect anybody else to come.
Right. So we can do that. And that's actually going to be somewhat late at night, actually. That's going to be like, well, like early evening, like just as like sun has gone down. So maybe like around 6 p.m., 7 p.m., something like that. So I think it's a great place to start there. What was the move we were resolving with Uncle Nick, Adam, and Addie? I feel like dice went on the table and I can't remember what it was. Do you guys remember?
Oh, when we had to keep our cool.
There was,
but then I don't remember what the move after it was.
I think it was keep your cool because of the spiral, and I think it was a 7 to 9.
No, I think he put on the mask.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he began walking in the spiral, which I said to Addie, keep your cool on. Both of you actually, keep your cool on, or at least one of you. I don't remember because you both remember the spiral. Yeah. And then a 7. We had a 7 on the table for someone. I think I'm just going to role play through this and just ignore. I'm going to ignore the dice and just kind of role play through the scene and pick it up from there. Well, it'll be fine. Fantastic. And then we've got fall with Jacqueline. Okay, good. Let's go with. So Sophia, we see you in the forest. It's around 6 p.m. You've got this book. What's going on in your mind right now?
I think we get a lot of like evidence of like the paranoia as she's walking through the forest, and the forest of Mercy Falls is like not a friendly and warm place to be. And as she walks through in this early night or this early evening, as dark's like spreading through the forest, with every noise, she's jumping and looking over her shoulder. You can see her sweating and like losing a grip on the book. It's starting to like her sweat starts to like seep into the edge of the pages and discolor it a little bit.
Fantastic. And as you're walking through the forest, how do you know that the forest either houses or is itself a being that is incredibly ancient? What do you sense that lets you know this?
It's like the feeling when you're walking through a busy street and you think someone calls your name, and doubled with that feeling of having oppressive eyes on you. And so the back of her neck is burning hot, and it feels not only alive but personal.
Do you do anything to acknowledge it? Maybe even reach out to it, even just something small or casual?
Oh, interesting. So there's a bit where she feels like she's being followed, so she like leans her back up against a tree, and as she's waiting, she's trying to like calm her breathing, and breathing in deep and slowly, and she closes her eyes, and that's just enough to like touch the edges of whatever this is.
Would you like to gaze into the abyss?
Sure. I do not have a lot of dark. Oh no, I do. This is good.
If you have a question, I mean, if you have something that you think Sophia might want to know, or something you want to know, I think it's a great opportunity.
I do. I want to know where I can put this book where it will stay hidden.
Good. Yeah, go ahead and roll plus star.
I'll steal purple. Oh boy, 4. That's a 6.
Good. Hold that thought. Fall. Jacqueline has, in her way, she loves a pun, right? Jacqueline loves a clever wordplay, and she has mentioned that she would like. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was something like, "I want to fall on top of you," or something like that, right? And you have gone a tumble on her bed. We've described her room a little bit last time already, but what are you thinking? How are you feeling? Just what's your
I think he's going through a lot of stuff because like for one, I think the only person that we've established that he's ever been attracted to yet is Shay, so we don't know if he's like bi or not, I guess. And I think it's also interesting that last time Addie kept saying that she resembles Jacqueline, so it might be like this weird transference thing happening where he's like, I can see it, and that might be appealing.
Yeah, right.
And he's also like,
if I play my cards right, this is what I have to look forward to in 20, 30 years, right?
And he's also like very malleable from authority figures, right? Because his parents, like, he's never really had to face any kind of authority figure wanting to do not well by him. Like, his mom is overbearingly kind. So
I want to say we had an actor, or we had to keep your cool on the table from last time.
And I missed,
yeah. She's leaning on your chest, and she says, hey, there's no need to look all nervous. I'm not going to eat you up. I'm not going to do anything untoward. Hell, you're half my age. That's a lie, by the way. But while I've got your attention, I was wondering if perhaps, and I'm taking a string on you, I was wondering if perhaps you would help me out with something very, very important.
I think I just do the like audible gulp in my throat.
You see, my sisters, they have a special book that they have always taken great pains to hide from me and keep out of my hands, because it's not my business, because I am not, well, much, but I want it. It has walked away from them. They've lost it, and I know who has it. And I was wondering if I could help you, or I was wondering if you could help me get it before they do. And I'm spinning a string.
Yeah, so it's sort of like in the scene of this in my head, I imagine it's sort of like she takes up half of my view and the other half is like the door, and when she offers that she moves a little bit out of the way so the door is showing a little bit more.
Right, yeah.
And I say, I'll see what I can do. I certainly wouldn't want to get on your bad side.
You're a very, very smart young man, Fall. Sophia, friend of yours from school, she has the book, and I have a feeling she's going to do her best to make sure no one finds it. And I have a sneaking suspicion, because we're in Mercy Falls, that she's going to go straight to the woods to try to hide it. And you know a lot about those woods, don't you?
Yeah, I think I get like a haunted look on my face, and it's just like clear to the viewer that I do.
Good. And if you're lucky, if you're successful, and then she kind of undoes the pearl buttons on her blouse a little bit, I will have a special reward waiting for you.
Okay. I think I just like slide, like that's when she pushes her body up a little bit more, right, to give me like the full effect, probably. And I like slide out very awkwardly and like bump against what are the one of the pillars that holds up like the cascading bed, right? Yeah. And I like hit myself against that and then awkwardly get out, maybe.
If we hadn't already done your Musk move on her, I would suggest that maybe Musk was happening, but I think like she's already under the effect of it. So good. Nick and Addie and Adam. You see him walking in this spiral, and if I recall, I'm pushing on. I think that I'd like to know how you're feeling, first of all, because particularly with Addie, because Addie, you have the condition where you have a sort of like fascination with the spiral killer, right? Which kind of worked to your detriment last session quite a bit. I just want to know, like, what are you thinking? Like, clearly the mask has some kind of power, right? And what are you going to do here?
Yeah, I think, surprisingly enough, it's a mixed feeling of fascination, but then fear, because I think Uncle Nick is like the one family member that she really cares about. And to see the two of them come together is just a bit too much.
Yeah. And yeah. What about you, Adam? You're not as enthralled to the whole spiral killer thing anymore. You've had so many like shifts in your in sort of like your outlook and stuff since then.
Yep. I mean, I still don't want the spiral killer around, and I don't want to become a victim of the spiral killer in the first place. So I'm kind of worried what Nick might do, and my eyes are darting around the room looking for possible ways to escape should he go for an attack or something.
He stops. And he looks up. He puts his fingers together like this. He's still got the stag skull mask on, right? He says, Adeline, would you mind leaving Adam and I for a minute? I have something I want to discuss with him in private.
No. Uncle Nick, I can't trust you right now. And I will not leave you alone with my friend.
He lifts the mask off and says, kind of does his hair a little bit. He hands it back to you and says, he leans in and says, Adeline, I saw something that in your friend that I think I should discuss with him, but it's a bit of a private matter.
Okay. So, can you give me a hint what you like? Interaction? What you saw?
He looks at you and says, "Well, quite frankly, I saw nothing."
Okay.
I said when we first met that you reminded me of someone, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but for some reason I was able to see it very, very clearly through this mask. You are the Clockwork Boy. There is nothing inside of you. Do you know what I mean by that?
You know, I sometimes feel that way too, but it's not polite to like tell people that.
He puts his hands on your shoulders.
Yeah, I'm clearly uncomfortable, but I do not resist.
He puts his hand on your shoulders and says, "Son, you don't have to be alone like this. You don't have to be wandering around like some desperate vessel, just waiting for something or someone to fill it. He looks back at you, Adeline. He says, "Your friend Adam is in danger."
What kind of danger?
I don't know specifically what, but I think in his attempts to feel, in his attempts to conform, in his attempts to find some sort of identity, he will end up hurting someone. I have a lot of work to do.
I'm in the room. Like, I didn't leave when you stopped talking about me being empty, right?
He kind of gives you a pat on the head.
Maybe I wouldn't feel this way if people would treat me differently. Ever thought about that?
And he says, "I hope you find your way. I hope you find whatever it is that will make you whole. And I hope in the doing that no one will be harmed by it."
Yeah, congratulations. I'm sure you hope that. This was really helpful. I'm not the dangerous one here. There are real monsters around this town, and I'm not one of them.
Aren't you?
No, I'm not.
I have a lot of work to do. Very interesting mask.
I think at that point, Addie looks down at the mask in her hands, and hasn't noticed this, but she's been idly like drawing spiral patterns with her thumbs, like in the mask.
Say that again. You've been idly drawing what?
Oh, I think she's idly like drawing spirals on the mask with her thumbs,
Nice.
but she hasn't absent-mindedly.
Yeah. Indeed. I want to just out of character make a little quick observation that the previous spiral killer made this version about you, Adam, when he
I know.
used the mask. So just
I know that, and that's also a reason why I am unhappy with this.
I'd say keep your cool, but you're basically being asked to leave at this point. So there's, unless you plan on unless you think you're going to freak out to the point where you run out of the Egyptian palace altogether, I think you're probably okay. So
yeah.
I'm going to cut over to our box in the woods. So you have a miss on the table, Sophia. A boy who was murdered a couple of months ago, Shay, steps out of the tree line while you are there, while you're in the woods trying to find a place to hide your book. He is wearing jeans, no shoes, and no shirt. He's slight. He's very slight and kind of smooth-chested, kind of a twinkish kind of guy, right? And he says, Sophia, right?
Yeah. Shay, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing out here?
I came out here looking for something. Shay, everyone said you died.
Give me keep your cool. What do you hope doesn't happen right here?
Oh boy, so many things. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't ask me for the book or take it off me, or maybe. That is. Sorry, what was that?
Those sound great to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope he doesn't like demand it of me because he feels otherworldly. Cold is a -1. That gives me a 7.
Let's read the move. The MC would tell you how your actions would leave you vulnerable, and you can choose to back down or go through with it. If you continue having this conversation, if you don't break off the conversation like right away, he's going to learn about the book. And it's probably not a great idea for a dead person to know about your magic book in the forest. So, but if you don't care about that, if you think you can kind of work through that, then it's up to you. But otherwise, you got to cut this off now.
Yeah. So that otherworldliness of him, the smell of fall in the air.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the thing that shocks her out of it. She like smells fall, and she like, is he here as well? And she says, Shay, I've got to go. I've got things I need to do, and it's getting dark.
He's like, no, don't go. I don't get to talk to many people out here. And he like makes a step toward you. What do you do?
Take 2 steps back, turn, and run.
Roll run
blindly
away.
Into the woods.
Yeah, roll run away.
And run away is volatile, isn't it? Which is a -1 as well. Oh boy, that's a 3.
Good. I think I'm just going to like push forward with Mark and XP. I'm going to push forward with our pre-established plan here, except I think I'm Julia, I'm going to let you encounter, so to speak, Sophia however you wish right now. And you're going to be able to sense on her that she's up to no good, or she's out here trying to either hide something or do something secretive. So
I had like only a couple of cigarettes left. I'm still naked and sweaty. It's getting cold there in the forest. But I have my cigarettes, and they give like a little bit of fume light. Also warmth. It feels warm to get the fume in my lungs. I breathe deeply in. Need to breathe deeply out. And my cigarettes are also my way to enter my trance, to deal with the strings and deal with other kind of things which could go on. And as my parents can sense me, maybe because I'm the kid of my parents, I I'm able also to wish for somebody to come here, because it can't happen that I'm just alone here in this forest. I think somebody should come sooner or later. And I sense somebody is close. Somebody is getting closer. And it's not this ghost, this thing here, this poor creature crawling here in his jeans, although he's good looking. But there's somebody else close by. And they also have a good scent. So maybe with my cigarettes, I can attract them, make them getting closer to me. The smell of my black cigarettes.
Sophia, you run away and you might see the cigarette smoke coming out of the ground. The metal grate of this submerged box is covered by like a little sort of tarp thing or whatever, like leaves and tarp. What do you do?
So yeah, this looks like catching just enough of that steel. It looks like an excellent place to hide my book, because it's like a storage area.
Right.
So throw myself onto the knees and just start like scraping the leaves off the top until I recognize
Do you
recognize
see
there is a
Julia
figure.
laying there? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's pretty shocking, right?
Yeah.
She's close. She shouldn't stop. Nobody should stop her now. I don't want to shock her, so I hold my breath. She shouldn't recognize me before she opens the little gate. She should only see me at the very last moment when looking inside. Otherwise, she might run away.
Julia, I can smell your cigarettes. No one else smokes those things.
That is true. That is true. I don't think you would expect me here, at this place,
No.
this hour.
What are you doing out here? What are you doing in a box in the middle of the woods?
Naked.
I don't want to talk.
Naked.
Yeah. I think I don't want to talk with you, but I want to drag you down here into my box, because I really, really don't want anybody to close that box at all anymore. And the best way to prevent that is having you with me inside here. So I take you and drag you down.
So we're assuming that the box can be opened from the outside, but not the inside. Maybe it has some kind of like hatch or latch or something. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Even if you were, Julie, you were locked in there on purpose, right? Like you were trapped.
Yes.
It was someone's intention to keep you in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Sophia, are you here to bring me out of the forest?
Julia, I'm getting really scared. I bumped into Shay, and then now you're in a box, and I don't really understand what's going on right now.
We can explain it all, but can't you see that I'm freezing? Do you have anything I can cover myself with?
I think she's still got that like scarf that she's had around her neck, and it would be enough to offer you some modesty, but not much more. I don't think it'll keep you very warm, but you can wrap yourself in this.
Your body warmth would also do it.
Are you trying to turn her on?
Yeah,
right now?
I was going to say.
Is that what's going on?
Roll that, baby.
Creepiest turn on ever.
I have a -1 and turn someone on, so
well,
don't be afraid. I might use your narcissism condition though.
Please.
I don't know. Your decision if that counts.
I think it will.
No, yeah, spot on.
Okay, that's
Hey!
enough. I would say.
Sufficient. On a 10 plus, you gain a string, and you have to choose a reaction, Sophia, from the list.
Okay, turn someone on. the first bit of physical contact is her hand against your hip as she like wraps this scarf around you, and she feels your skin chilled, and where she touches it, it like blanches white and then stays that way. And the look of like fear turns to concern, and her hands like wrap around your hips and pull you in.
It's a good place to fuck.
Wow, the romance, Julia.
I love it. Are you guys firing off your intimacy moves?
Absolutely.
All right, take a look at those. We'll come back to it. Fall, frame up your scene. You got separated from your friends.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, I think Jacqueline's offer is like tugging at him, but I think that he senses that she's like more than what she seems, especially after what she does. So I'm wondering, maybe as I'm like fumbling for the doorknob and stuff like that, maybe I could gaze into the abyss at her to figure out what she is.
Give me a little more fiction. I mean, like, how are you gazing into the abyss right now? What's the supernatural angle?
Well,
Smelling her or something, or
well, I just imagine her being like real snake-like with her what she's doing, and Fall just trying to like piece this all together as he's like staring at her and trying to exit the room as well.
Tell me how out of character, how her serpentineness interacts with your Sasquatchness and your connection to the forest, and how it makes you feel. And then I think we'll be getting close to gaze into the abyss.
Like I imagined that when she was saying all that stuff about that like I'll get like a bonus or whatever, that her tongue was like unnaturally long when she like licked her lips.
Okay, nice. I like that. That's a Jacqueline move. Okay.
Yeah. And then so that sort of like is the thing that triggered me a little bit. And so when I'm looking at her, I think yeah, I like try to smell into the air and figure her out, just like as she's showing that she's an animal, I am showing a little bit that I am as well. Just because I use that in the forest to find what I'm looking for, like Shay and stuff like that too.
Roll plus dark.
Dark. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I'll be green. 8 is a 10.
What's your question?
What is this? What is she? What is happening? What is real?
You will have a vision of a temple, an Egyptian temple, hieroglyphs on the walls, right? And a tall, like, altar space, the dais, an altar slab. And it's illuminated by like hanging oil braziers, right? And you will see a woman who doesn't look like Jacqueline. Somehow intuit that it is Jacqueline. But a woman dressed, she's got a gold headdress on with an asp, like kind of figurine on it, and jet black hair, and like silk robes. She is standing over you on the slab, and running her fingers across your chest, right? And she's addressing a crowd of onlookers who are in a language you don't recognize. It's Egyptian, ancient Egyptian. You can't speak it, so you don't know what she's saying. But she makes like a loud declaration, and you hear like this, like a whistly, whispery cacophony of hisses, like coming up from this crowd of people, right? And if you turn and look, you will see these people are snake people. They are some of them just have like little details, like scales or yellow eyes. Some of them look like full-on snake beings, right? Like with hooded heads and all that, right? And snake-like bodies. A couple of them have, strangely enough, like arms that are like anacondas, right? Like, you know, they all have their own little variations. And you know straight away that she is something really ancient.
And like, if we're going with the natural angle, I would sense that she was like a predatory thing, right?
Yes, and I think that's where your sort of Sasquatchy forestness kicks in, right? You get this like fight or flight sensation, right?
Yeah, I know that like the natural order or whatever of the jungle is like upset by this thing,
right?
And then I probably stumble back and run like hell. It's probably into the forest.
And you can also see some of Jacqueline's like sense of humor in picking this place for the family to live, right? Like,
right.
Just as her way. Yeah, but you can get out of there. You can leave the room now.
Yeah, I'll stumble out and I'll be sweating even more. sweating for days.
Maybe that'd be a great time for Addie and Adam to run into you. Like Addie, if you're done with it, like Addie, I'll just ask you both in turn. What are you going to do right now? You might smell fall, right? Breaking a sweat. Adeline, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Adeline can't trust anyone. Julia is going to kill everyone. Adam is going to kill everyone. And so I think she's going to stuff the mask. I feel like maybe she has like a satchel bag on her or something, and she's going to stuff the mask in that. And then, yeah, perhaps if she hears commotion from downstairs, we'll definitely go and check on that because she's pretty sure her mom fucked full.
Right. Adam, we'll get to you in a second. We'll say Adeline slips out first, and you can run into fall. So let's have that scene.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm just like, maybe you find me trying to search for a way out, but because the hotel has been modified so much, I imagine myself running to all the hallways with exit signs, and none of those doors actually work. So like maybe you hear like the jingle or whatever of one of them down a hall where I'm just like trying to shake it open and it just won't open.
I think you hear like Adeline like clatter down the stairs, and when she spots you, she stops and eyes you up a little bit and asks, "Are you okay? You're in a bit of a fluster."
You shouldn't have brought me here, Eddie. Your mother is, I don't know, your mother's terrifying.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. She is the literal worst. She didn't do anything to you, did she?
She didn't have to do anything. She just looked at me like I was a mouse and she was something else.
Yeah, she has a tendency to do that. Look, but let's just get out. I should not have brought you here. I'm so sorry. Let's just, I don't know. I can drive you home if you want.
Yeah, let's get out of here. And also, why do none of these exits work? You guys do actually leave your homes, right?
Rarely.
Adam, what about you? Would you be directly behind, or There's a moment where you're alone with Nicholas.
For a moment, I hesitate and ask, so who is the Clockwork Boy?
I used to do a bit of work in, we would say, Istanbul now. I used to do a bit of work in an important royal court. And there was a Clockwork Boy, a marvel presented to the ruler, and he, well, I'll just level with you. It was the Sultan. He fell in love with the Clockwork Boy, but the Clockwork Boy was just a machine. He had nothing on the inside. And so he tasked me with devising an alchemy that would allow the Clockwork Boy to feel, that would allow him to have agency and, well, emotion, be able to love, be able to be there with him. And I was successful. Perhaps too successful. It didn't end well for the Sultan.
Okay, so the moral of the story is I shouldn't have agency, or what are you trying to tell me?
The moral of the story is more of a basic truth. I'm much better at my craft than I was back then. I could help you, Adam. I could help you find fullness and purpose, but in a way that wouldn't hurt anyone.
I'll find it myself, I say to him, and run down the stairs following Eddie. Of course, I'm still thinking about it.
Indeed. Would you all just like to leave now at this point, I guess?
Well, I wanna use my icebreaker move on Eddie, actually. Okay. Yeah. So I think initially I'm down that like dark hallway, right? And I want to say even we get like, if you ever seen Blade Runner, there's that red photo lens thing in replicants that you see, but instead with mine it's yellow because I'm a Sasquatch. But then I step into the light and you see how like your mother has affected me, which is not good. I'm like, probably the first couple buttons on my shirt are undone or something when she was toying with me, and I'm like sweaty and like a real nightmare looking type person, and I'm like darting around and looking. I think I look like prey, like how she wanted me to look, right? And so then I like grab your shoulders and I look you in the eye and I say, why did you bring me here? What don't you want me to find out? That's the question.
Oh my gosh.
And you had to blurt out a truthful answer.
And I have to blurt this out, right? Like, oh my gosh. I think she blurts out, I trust you more than anyone, Fall, and I'm really sorry that I brought you here. And I think what she doesn't want you to find out is that she is a lot like her mother, more than she wants to admit. And she feels very ashamed about that.
So do I find that out by like you looking like her or something in that moment or something, or what is it? Or do you say that?
Ah, man.
Sometimes I'm so afraid that I'm my mother or something like that. Is that what you say? Or do I?
Yeah, I think she says that. Yeah. I was trying to think, like, is this... I guess it's not quite the right time to, like, trigger the big reveal in the hallway.
Yeah. And I think I think my face, like, softens a little bit, and I kind of, like, I think I just say, you're nothing like your mother, and then we'll, like, head out, right? Your mother is truly terrifying.
She's the fucking worst.
I want to do this. I want to do the sex scene between Sophia and Julia, and then we'll take our break. So let's cut back over to Sophia and Julia. First of all, let's just read out of character the sex moves. What has to happen on these here? Start with you, Julia.
After sex with someone, ask what they like and promise you'll get it for them. Gain 2 strings on them.
Aren't you also supposed to be getting something for someone? Like, doesn't Debbie want you to get Adam?
Debbie wants a piece of Adam, and she will get it. I promise it to her. Adam just wants to be left alone. I promised that, but that was a difficult promise, I have to admit, yes. Well, actually, what I promised to stay back in the forest, yes.
Indeed. Well, so what about this promise to Sophia?
Man, I like in the afterglow, I think Sophia tells Julia the whole story and asks for the family has some other like occult stuff in that room that she wants.
Nice.
And yeah. I want you to go steal me some witchy stuff at his family.
His family. Oh,
sure
the Egyptian palace. Yes.
Yes.
Particularly the room of Aunt Evelyn and Aunt Genevieve. Like that's where all the good witch shit is.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, dear Sophia.
Yeah, I know that you can get in there, Julia.
Yes. I am family. I can provide you with whatever you need for your hex.
You're my absolute favorite.
Better than you expect, I promise.
I don't even think she like asks you for it. I think she just like wistfully says that it would be nice if she could have it, and you pounce on that. Oh, I can get it for you.
Yeah, you smell like you want that.
Yeah.
What is your sex move, Sophia?
My sex move is when I have sex with someone, I gain a sympathetic token on them. They know about it, and it's cool.
Which did you take? What did you take from her? She's naked presently. What did you manage to get?
I have a very specific idea here. I will offer it to you, Sophia, if you're interested in. Is that fine for you?
Yeah, I'm interested to hear in where it is, and yeah.
When our bodies rub together on different positions, I'm giving you something which comes from inside of me, and it's the first time I recognize I have something like this, and this is a dragon egg.
Yes.
And this dragon egg is you can describe to me how it looks like, because I will not see it, because it immediately, and I'm totally cool with that, goes over to you. And it's small enough that it fits in any orifice you want to have it in. And there you can keep it and have something whenever you want to do what you need to do.
It's like when you're cuddling with a partner and you like lean on the remote and you're like, this is an egg. But the egg is small. It's incredibly small. I think it would fit in a palm, and it it looks like it's made of glass, almost like a snow globe, except the inside of it's filled with that same thick black, like acrid smoke that Julia's spells are cast around.
I love it.
Fabulous.
Where do you store it?
Dog, I wore pants. I've got pockets.
Okay.
And I think that's got to be a conversation that we have, right? Like this is a very intimate thing. Julia looks over and is like, where are you going to store that? And Sophia just like puts it in her pocket uncomfortably.
All right. Yeah.
Very nice. Let's take our break. We'll take 5 minutes. Everybody just think about what scenes you'd like to frame up next, okay? Doke. I want to go around the table and just find out what each of your ideas are for scene framing, and then we'll kind of figure out where to go from there. Fall.
I'm thinking about going to the forest, but I think it will depend. Addie's presumably giving us a ride home, so I think I would like talk to her about it, and then that would affect what my next move was.
Okay, so Addie, what was your thinking for scenes?
Yeah,
you
I think
past that possible scene's fine.
Yeah, I think much in the same vein. Like she says, oh, I'll just take you guys home. But then like on the drive, it's like, well, let's just go to the woods instead.
Adam, what are you thinking? Or sorry, go ahead, Addie. I don't know if you were done.
No, that was it. I hadn't thought more beyond just going to the woods and having fun.
Okay, sounds good. Adam, what about you?
I kind of don't want to go home again. So I could maybe awkwardly tag along. Unless they try to, drop me off first or something. So that could be a scene. Otherwise, yeah.
Sounds good. What's your next move, Julia?
I feel very vulnerable, and so I would like to follow Sophia. However, I have a lot of hatred towards this nun inside of me. It's very strong. But she's just too far away. It's too difficult to catch her, to get her. So first of all, I follow Sophia.
Okay, well, then Sophia, where are you headed?
I
think we're just going to kind of go to the assumption that you maybe didn't actually get rid of the book yet. So,
yeah, I mean that's still something I got to do. I got to make some progress.
Well, where would you go? Maybe the forest isn't a great idea, after all.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anywhere. Well, I don't think anything stays buried in Mercy Falls for long. But
No,
I don't. Julia, would you have a place you'd suggest?
I think you should just bring it back.
All right, so you reckon we've gotten all we can out of this, and you'll steal me some other stuff, and so
yes,
we can give the book back as a sign of good faith, and then all right, good idea.
Wait, bring the book back to the Serpentines?
To the Serpentines as like, this is a thing that happened. You're aware of it. We're sorry, and then while we're there, we'll just steal the next round of stuff.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm into that. Let's go to the woods first, then, or maybe even the car ride over if you guys want. Fall, Addie, you're driving, so you frame the scene. Whoever's driving gets to say where the scene goes.
Awesome. Yeah, I kind of feel like we kick off from Addie's house, and she's pumping like some 80s punk, like on a cassette tape or something, with the windows down as they're driving. And I think, like, I don't know, maybe they come to a fork between sort of the road to the woods and then the road to sort of further into town. Yeah, I guess it's what, like afternoon, evening-ish still.
Like 7. No, it's like 7:30 at night at this point.
Night?
Yeah,
so it's dark.
Yeah. Because it's in the winter, so yeah, it's already probably pretty dark. Yeah. Fork in the road. Role play. You're in the car. Fork in the road.
Okay, so Addie, where were you going again? You just wanted to have fun in the woods?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought much beyond that.
Well, we are teenagers, so I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe Chad is having another party, but it's in the woods this time. Yeah, I'm down for going to the woods. I consider the woods like my home anyway, so
yeah.
Maybe when we're like getting in the car and you're deciding where to go, maybe that was even like a reason why we're going, right? Like maybe I'm just like, take me somewhere safe or whatever.
Yeah. And of course the woods are safe. And I think there are a lot of unanswered, there are a lot of answers that we can still get from the woods.
Yeah, I should throw her a chocolate bar or something, so...
Oh, Julia. Give Julia a chocolate bar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you want us to like make a pit stop? Literally?
Yeah, let's stop at a gas station and get...
Okay, sure.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I like that too. That will be... That's what would happen in the TV show too, right? Like we go to check and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So let's just have it there. You guys are at the box. Julia and Sophia are long gone at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, Adam. So I kind of like the idea of like Adam just takes you out to this box with no explanation of what's going on.
Yeah.
There you are, looking at this empty box on the ground.
Yeah. We've got like Henrys in each hand. So yeah. This is where we picked you up. Did you leave something in here?
Yeah, fuck.
You look a bit nervous, Adam.
Yeah, you guys, I locked Julia in here. She's too dangerous to be around, you know? Like, when I said to Nicholas that they're real monsters, I was talking about her and all the spiral killers and whatnot that are running around. It's, you know, it's not me. I don't think I'm a wholesome person, but I'm not a monster, and I don't kill people. So, but something had to be done, so I locked her in here, and yeah, that's why I wanted the chocolate bars. I mean, I'd eat. Fuck it, I'll eat it now. I unwrap the chocolate bar and and then take a bite.
Stress eating, yeah. Okay, so you thought she was the killer, so you locked her in here.
Yeah, I know she's the killer. She tried to kill me.
Oh yeah, because you were even trying to tell us that before. We were like, "Oh, Adam."
Yeah, like the moment when I told everyone in the Jewel Club that she was a killer, that you could have believed me.
Well, and in the car too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have been telling you that she's a killer, and
right.
You know what? Turns out she's a killer.
Well, is it a damp evening? Are there footprints that we can follow? Can we Scooby-Doo?
I'd be curious to find out, like, when Adam starts saying like she's a killer. Addie, what do you think about that? Because she tried to kill you too, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely on Team Adam. I think like Addie has her like satchel and she clutches it a little closer to her midsection and says like, yeah, she's a killer and she's where the fuck is she? How did she get out?
Yeah, some asshole must have let her out.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared right now. I think she like looks around the dark woods and like the eerie silence.
She has to be naked. I took her clothing.
What?
Offside, bro. I bet people didn't say that in the 80s, but I do the 80s equivalent.
So she's naked in the woods.
Yeah.
I guess I'll try to track her. We can't just...
I don't know how this works, but would her clothing help? I mean, I still have it.
Oh, yeah, because I could smell it.
Do you have some kind of like Sasquatch tracking move, or is this just fictional positioning stuff?
It seems like purely fictional positioning.
No, I'm into it. Roll plus dark.
Okay.
I'd say gaze into the abyss, but I don't really think it's quite that. Actually, no, it's gaze into the abyss. You're smelling her. You're in the woods. Yeah, I'm into it. Gaze into the abyss.
7, 9, and no one can help, right? But I could spend a string. Oh no, I can't, right?
I think that's one of the things you can do.
Oh, but I would need it on Julia though. I must have used it last time. I don't have any. I got one on basically everybody except Julia.
I would give you one if you give me another one, but well.
Yeah, I know how your bargains go. Trust me.
You smell her clothes, and then you smell the air, trying to pick up on her scent. And you smell cigarettes. Not her cigarettes. You smell Jacqueline's cigarettes. And you smell the musty old carpet of the Egyptian palace. And you hear that chorus of snakes all around you. That's susurrus, right? That's and you're not sure who's in more danger right now, Julia or them. And another. Someone's with her.
Jesus.
And maybe they're in danger.
I think as Fall smelling these clothes, Addie grabs his wrist and says, wait, do we even want to find Julia?
I don't think anyone else is going to do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, people can murder in this town with impunity, like the Spiral Killer. Nobody cares about that months after.
I think I have like a flashback to like ripping him apart in the woods.
Which you also didn't suffer any consequences for, except for
This town sucks. Everyone is an asshole. The sheriff doesn't do anything if people get murdered.
Well, don't ask me how I know this, but I think that Julia has went back to your house, Addie, and somebody's with her, obviously, because somebody let her out of your house.
And somebody might be walking into the snake pits.
Yeah, so do we care that if she is the killer, obviously this person is in danger and they're going right to your home? And then I bite into the O. Henry.
I'm worried that I'm worried about a lot of things, but I'm worried that my mother has her hooks in Julia. When Julia tried to kill me, the last thing I saw was my mother above me, congratulating her.
But your family sucks.
Tell me about it, fuck!
Yeah. I mean, my parents created me even if they didn't want me, and they don't care. I mean, what kind of choice does a bullshit name like Adam leave you? But that's not, I don't think they're murderers. I might be surprised, but I don't think so.
That's the scary thing, right? Like, we don't know what we're capable of. And she shoots at him like a pointed look.
Yeah. I didn't kill anyone. Ever.
Well, the last time that I saw a killer, they killed somebody that I loved. So I will leave this up to you. I'll do whatever you want.
But
I mean, I did buy her chocolate. That's not what a murderer does.
then you ate it.
She was gone. Should it go to waste?
You need to finish the sentence there. I did buy her chocolate to give to her where I had her kidnapped, right in the ground.
That's not what a murderer does.
That's not what a murderer does. I would like to suggest that maybe right now also this might be hitting your move, Addie, where you find human needs, or you find one of your needs being met in human society, because I think you're becoming closer friends with Fall and Adam.
Yeah, I think so.
In which case, you mark experience. So
let's bond over trauma.
Hey. I also think Addie turns to Fall and says, "Look, would you even go back to the palace after what happened?"
I can only think of something cheesy to say. I think we'll just lead into the 80s and say, like, he'll like grab your arm back, right? Because you're gripping him, and he's like, "For you, I would."
Yeah,
she'll definitely blush at that.
Yeah, Adam awkwardly stares into the open grave.
Yeah, third wheel. Am I turning Addie on though?
Maybe, I think so. Possibly, yeah, I think so.
This has gone really well, like every other time we've tried. So why not?
I know every time we try to plot, it's just like an opportunity for Jason to advance the plot.
Oh, I want to miss so bad right now. I can't even stand it.
Okay, so rolling plus hot, which of course I believe is what I'm bad at. Oh yeah, -1. Okay. Yeah, so you get what you wish for, a 5.
As soon as you say, "For you, I would," you look up and you see Shay standing across the way with a tear rolling down his cheek.
So cruel, unusual punishment.
We'll cut away from there. So, and mark experience. Julia, you may have picked up in your interactions with the Weir family that Evelyn and Genevieve keep some of these more occult items of power away from Jacqueline, and that Jacqueline usually wants them and can't get her hands on them, right? This is just a regular conflict they have, the three of them. The question I pose to you is, who do you take Sophia to? Do you take her to Jacqueline, or do you take her to Genevieve / is it Eleanor or Evelyn? Have I been saying Evelyn?
It's Eleanor, I thought.
I think it might be.
It's Eleanor.
It's Eleanor, yeah. Sorry, Eleanor. So who do you take her to?
Jacqueline is my mother, like much better mother than my own parents. I want my mother to be proud of me, so I only want to present her final results and not bother her with like half-assed things. So for sure, we will only go to Jacqueline at the very end when I have succeeded in getting something. And I'm pretty sure that Sophia is also a person she could be interested in on a different level than Sophia might expect.
Okay, so so you are taking her to you're not taking her to Jacqueline then, or you are?
No, not yet. No.
Okay, very good. Then,
however, on my way, we had a little bit time to talk, and I'm very interested in this concept of like the sympathetic tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this hair you have, Sophia, from Adam. I wonder what you could do with that. Like, what is going on with what kind of impulse is behind having a hair from Adam? You mind telling me?
Well, I just kind of keep things in case I need them. I don't really have a plan, but like, if Adam ever tries to, get up in my face, I've got some insurance.
If you ever are in need of a plan, especially about Adam's hair. I love Adam's hair.
Actually, I think there's a little bit of an implicit threat in there as well, that she's like, I have this thing, like now with this dragon egg that you've given her, she's like, I have this thing of Adam's and I can hurt him if he comes against me.
Yeah, but you would never hurt me, I know
that. Never.
No. Okay, yeah, just wanted to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's just advance to the Egyptian palace then. And so you and Sophia you can slip in easily and go wherever you wish. Jacqueline is almost always 3 sheets to the wind, and she's easy to get around as needed. You can take where do you guys go, Julia?
Is there a way to get into the Egyptian palace without? Right?
Yeah, you can get in.
Being
Yeah, you can get in easy.
Yeah, if there's a chance to get in, then we should put the book back somewhere. I can later point the family to, and then we try to get something out of the collection. And it's up to Sophia to pick something she's interested in. Like, I know this place, and I think she will be able to find something of interest for her.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure for that. I have to be like on the lookout if anybody's noticing us. That is important. That doesn't happen. I also hope that I'm dressed again.
Yeah. They're really good. Oh, Garrett, I'm getting a weird little scratchy clicky noise off you. I don't know if you're touching your mic or something, or I don't know. There's some kind of
Maybe I'm playing with my dice.
Oh, don't do that. Yeah, that's super. Yeah, don't do that.
Clack, 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 clack.
So I think all the really good stuff is in Aunt Genevieve's basement room, which no one is allowed into. Because Aunt Genevieve is kept kind of hidden because of her deformities, right? Julia, you've never even seen Aunt Genevieve.
Yeah.
But that's where the good stuff is.
So there we need to go. To come up with a plan how to get in there. So who could have is there a key or something you need to have to get in there? Oh.
As long as you just go downstairs and keep a watch, you should be able to just sneak in. You should be fine. If you want to just send Sophia in there.
Yeah. Sophia can do it on her own. I think it's enough if she goes in and I just watch that nobody comes. What do you think, Sophia?
I trust you. You've promised me that you will do this for me. I trust you.
Yeah. Get whatever you need. You can keep it. Will be our secret.
Okay. So, with you safely keeping watch on the stairs, Sophia will creep down slowly, crack the door, and peek inside.
It's perfectly dark.
It's the 80s. I don't have a phone with a torch on it.
Yeah.
Oh, the 80s. If I fumble for a light switch?
You can.
Yeah.
But nothing comes on.
Oh boy. I step into the dark room.
Okay.
Close the door behind me, and like sit down on the floor, fumbling around. I open up the book, and I can't see the pages, but I can feel them, and I know what they feel like after the time I've spent with it. And I just let myself sink into its pages a bit, and I'm going to reach out with my feelings to see if I can feel the power of the things in this room.
Gaze into the abyss.
Oh boy. 6 and 2 is 8.
You hear it sounds like it's like the sound of a sandbag being dragged across the cement floor. Something thick and heavy sliding across the floor. And it's a sound as if summoned from the darkness. It's around you, it's moving around you, and you feel colder. The temperature has dropped. And you feel hands, soft, gentle hands, caressing the back of your neck and your shoulders. And a woman's voice whispers in your ear, I can sense that you know how this operates. And I can sense that you have power in you. My sister and I, our magics and our ways are very different. This book is a mystery to us. You feel her around you gently, a slight pressure around your knees and legs, and you feel her presence all over, surrounding you, enveloping you. I would love to see you use it. I would love to see you harness the power within that book. Show it to me, and then I will show you deeper mysteries. And then her hand glides across your hand and flips to the page. The page that includes the hexes, the really nasty hexes. My sister Jacqueline needs to have a little accident. Can you do this?
I need a connection to her. I need something she owns or has touched. It's hard.
You hear a click click of a lighter suddenly illuminating space. Suddenly the space is illuminated and you can see the book, you can see your knees, you can see her thick snake-like torso coiled around the space.
Oh God.
And she presses the lighter into your hands. she's going crazy right now, trying to find a book of matches. Whatever you do, make it shocking and painful, horrifying even. An initiation into the deeper mysteries, my dear.
Oh boy. Okay. And I like lay the scarf out with the threaded side up where I've been stitching the symbols. I place the lighter in the middle of it, and with the book in my lap, just with the hand kind of running over the pages, I start talking, and that the words turn into like my S's get elongated, and then the words are hisses, and I do my best for the horrifying snake lady.
Indeed. Are you doing a hex?
I am hexing. Let's see how that goes.
Roll plus dark.
I think that's.
Well, first of all, what do you want the hex to do?
Good question. So, I want the hex to
make it gruesome.
Yeah, I was going to say this is the first time. I think what I want is I'm going to burst the ulcers that her years of drinking have built up in her stomach, and she's going to be vomiting blood and acid, and it's going to burn all the way up her throat. And yeah.
Nice. Roll plus dark.
Cool. So that roll is a 7 and 2 is 8. No, 9. But yeah, 9.
It works, but choose one.
Which I will. Oh, I think I have to. It's hard to pick between taking harm and triggering my darkest self here. I think I'll take harm. I think that pushing against Jacqueline is the hardest thing I've ever done.
Good. Hold that thought. I'm gonna cut away. Let's do one more scene with the other group, and then we'll have a break. Fall, you see Shay standing there. He's got a tear rolling down his eyes, down his cheek. As soon as you say, "I'd do anything for you," what do?
Probably try to keep my cool.
What are you hoping doesn't happen here? What are you trying to avoid?
I think the fear for me is that he like is real and like comes out and like approaches us. Like I think he's a vengeful like spirit or something, right? Is the fear.
Yeah. So you want to like basically try to be able to convince him that there's nothing going on here? Is that the idea? Or
or like I would like for Shay to be like okay with the idea of like of like me being close to somebody else. It doesn't have to be like a sexual thing or not, right? But yeah, I think like the fear is finding out if it's a
well, do you have strings on Shay? That might be the better question. Do you have strings on Shay right now?
I think I spent it to get him to come to me. Yeah, I spent it last time.
So you don't have any leverage on him right now. He's just going to react however he reacts, basically. So there's no real keep your cool here because we're not litigating how you react. We're litigating how he reacts, right?
Right.
And he's just upset, and he's gonna like just turn and like run deeper into the woods if you don't stop him.
I'll run after him. I think I say probably he appears behind Addie, right? And then I'm like, wait, and then I run towards it, and Addie's probably like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, so Addie and Adam, I mean, like, Fall saw something, and he's running into the woods now. What do you guys? You guys are just there. What do you do?
I love it because the last big Vol save was like, for you. What did Vol say? It was like, I'd go back.
For you, I would.
For you, I would. And then it's like, wait, and then takes off into the woods. It's like,
Right.
what?
Is that shutdown? Is that an inadvertent shutdown?
I am a complicated person. Okay.
It might be an inadvertent shut. Like, Addie, would you possibly perceive it as a shutdown? Like he's just trolling you or something, or what?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, if you would see a ghost, then you tell me what you okay.
Roll shutdown.
Okay, so cold. What's my cold? +1. All right. 8, 9.
Right.
Choose
one. But you're going to come across poorly as well. So, so you'll put a condition on Fall, Addie.
Oh, okay. Ooh, what's a good condition?
You put the last one on me too. Intriguingly repulsive.
Did I put that in?
Yeah.
No, that was me in the first session.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I don't know how to encapsulate this like in a single word, so I might need some help. But it's
What's
like
the
I kind of feel like Addie and Fall have been like really like trying to go there, but every time failing. So it's kind of like leading Addie on, or like that kind
tease
of
or something.
Yeah, tease is good.
Tease, I like tease.
I'll put tease, and then I'll. Do you have strings on me?
I don't. I've only got one on Sophia, one on Auntie Eleanor.
Okay, then I'll take one on you, because then eventually I can spend it to hit a roll. Maybe.
And you run off.
Yeah.
I have. Oh, yeah, but I wouldn't spend it in this context. That would be screwing me over. So, yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
I think with that in mind, Addie turns to Adam and just like sighs and says, he's always doing this. Like every time I think that we have something, like he just like runs away. It's really annoying.
You don't deserve that.
I don't know. Maybe I do.
Why?
I just feel like I'm not that good of a person.
No, you are a good person. I mean, you picked me up on the road when I was in the woods, and you caught me your friend with your creepy uncle in there, and
yeah, but I mean, you've been through some rough stuff. Like I feel like you and I get each other in a weird way. Like I feel like we're going through different things, but I feel like I get you.
That's yeah, maybe I'm not sure even. I'm not even sure I get myself. Like, sometimes I feel like this isn't me.
How do you mean?
Points at himself, and like this body, this everything. Like I feel like I'm trapped inside here. Like I should be something else, someone else. Like, I mean, Julia tried to kill me and I survived. But what am I even doing with this life? Like, what am I surviving for? I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. This nun at school, she asked me if I was a wholesome person, and I mean, what the fuck do you say to that? But yeah, she also asked me if what I was doing is worth living for. So,
do you feel that way? Like, do you feel like life's worth living?
Something has to change. I mean, like, look at me, and he takes off his shirt, and like, this is this me? Am I triggering the cuckoo move? Great. I wanted to try that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's in second skins.
Oh,
Give me
yeah, I
a
got it
minute to open it.
I have it. Hold on. All right, the cuckoo. What's the name of the move?
That's jumping out of clocks.
Jumping out of clocks.
When you disrobe for someone, take one forward to rolling with volatile, and they choose a reaction.
Okay, so you're going to you have a +1 forward for volatile, and then the reaction you have to pick from Addie is offer you an experience point to do what they want, or trigger your darkest self.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the perspective here? They choose a reaction. They would trigger your darkest self or their own darkest self?
No, mine.
Okay. Or they can offer you an experience point right now to get you. So you can basically try to get Adam to do something for you right now.
Yep.
Addie.
Oh my god.
Or trigger Adam's darkest self. Which he kidnapped someone to get out of.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. I built myself a downward spiral.
Think about that. We'll take our break.
Yeah.
We'll come back in 5, okay?
Oh, sit.
Mate. Mate. What is it about you and I and going into rooms we shouldn't be in this week?
No. One room after another, describing the key, and then as soon as you're in, you're locked. You can't get out anymore.
Yep, that's how it's going. But I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Oh, yes.
It's such a great story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sophia. A witch making very powerful enemies in just one session.
Even more powerful friends.
Friends. I have been very disappointed by friends in the past. I don't give that much in friendship anymore, I think.
It's because you don't have the leverage. The key to having good friends is to have some sympathetic tokens on them so that if they ever decide not to be your friends, you've got leverage. Yes. The key to good friendship is like implicit threats.
Sure. But I mean, the dragon egg. You are the mother, so I'm the other mother. So.
Sometimes you have to break some eggs.
Scrambled eggs, no. Yeah. I always wanted to break Adam's shell to see what's inside, to see if an egg would fit in there. Because we need a shell for our baby. And what about Adalind? I just need to meet Fall because he has enough strings that I can force Adalind in a scene with me.
Done a very good job of avoiding you to the date.
Yes. Back in the woods from the palace. I can imagine like when we were coming from the woods to the palace, our cars were passing across each other.
Yeah.
Busy roads.
Now it's a crossroads, and there's the scene where we just picked our path, and then your car comes from the other side.
Oh yeah.
We'll come back to Adam and Addie. I want to go to Julia. Julia, you're at the top of the stairs, and down the hall and around the corner is the bar restaurant area where Jacqueline normally hangs out, spends most of her productive hours. And you hear a cry of like pain coming from there. It sounds like Jacqueline. What do you do?
Oh no! This is not what I expected to happen. And in a furious mind, I run down the stairs into the basement to find Sophia, to make her stop because I know exactly what is going on there.
Yeah, you go downstairs and it's dark when you open the door. You don't see anything. What do? It's just darkness.
I only had more than just a lighter with me. So it's darkness again. So darkness. And I start kicking and boxing with my hands around me and trying to get whatever I can get into my hands.
Do it keep your
scream,
cool.
Sophia!
Do it keep your cool. What are you trying to avoid here?
Try to avoid to hit something I shouldn't hit, something which could cause even more trouble if I hit it.
Roll plus cool.
That's a miss. Yes.
You are swinging around, trying to you're flailing around, trying to figure out what's going on, and you quickly feel something coiling around your legs, around your waist, around your arms. Something is coiling around you and holding you tight. And you hear Aunt Genevieve's voice say, "You have stumbled into the middle of our little coup. You have to make a decision, Julia. Do you want to continue being a part of this family? Or shall we adopt a new outsider?" And Sophia, she's clearly referencing you.
No. It is me. But I have to tell you one thing. We, Sophia, the new potential bride of this family, and me, we are one.
And you hear a voice. You can still hear the cries of panic and pain upstairs, but you hear a voice coming from the doorway to the basement area, the little stairs. It's Aunt Eleanor, and she says, "Genevieve, dear, your spell is not quite working. I fear that we may have to go a little deeper to finally end our lovely sister." And Genevieve speaks aloud to both of you. "I'm afraid there's only room for one of you to be in our little family." And then she uncoils you, Julia. And she says, "Whoever strikes the killing blow will be welcomed with open arms." Sophia, what do you do? Do you go deeper with your magic?
That's the question, right? Like this is Sophia's just been a little girl playing around and being petty, and now this is like actually killing someone is a huge step. And I think I want to taste first. So Sophia says, "I cast your spell. You promised me power. I'll need something before I leave."
Of course.
And I think she like looks over the occult items, runs her fingers over the things that she can feel that aren't stored away, and something stands out to her that she should have that would be helpful. I'm wondering what it would be. Lauren, this is your family.
I think it can be I think you can just assume you're going to get whatever it is, and we can sort that out later. But
Yeah.
The open question is: do you go deeper on the hex? Do you kill Jacqueline?
Yeah, like it's that way. Like as soon as she touches this thing and feels the power, she's like, "Yep, this is I need this."
Do you begin speaking the
This is
words?
amazing.
The hex, the incantations.
Staring Julia in the eyes.
Well, you guys can't see each other. It's all dark.
Oh,
but-
that's right. Still dark. Yeah. Yeah. Julia, you just hear the hisses, unfathomable and infinite.
Genevieve says, "Oh, Julia, dear, she's taking your place."
I should be. No matter the darkness, I should be able to sense her. We just fucked in the woods. We were close as we only could be. And I was hearing it, so I screamed like a viper. I jump in your direction.
Lash out physically.
I'm thinking lashing out physically. Okay. It's a 10. It's a 10. However, I have volatile -1, so it's only a 9.
Okay.
But that doesn't matter. That's yeah. If it is in the agenda fulfilling the agenda of Jacqueline, I would get a +1, and she gets a string on.
It actually is.
And she gets a string on me, and it's a 10.
No.
And it will cause you 1 harm. You already have 1 harm.
I do.
Plus, I have 2 strings on you because you were so naive to have sex with me, which makes it 4 harm.
Yep. Fucking strings and worms, man. All right.
I've got a lovely coda to this scene. We're going to come back to it.
Oh, please.
I want to resolve the Adam Addy thing before we go to Fall in the Woods. So, you were disrobing Adam. And that's fantastic. What does the move do? Remind us.
The move. The move says that when I disrobe, I get +1 on volatile.
Volatile, yeah, good.
And Adeline has to choose if I go into my darkest self,
yeah.
or she tells me what to do and offers an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think Adeline rests a hand on your bare shoulder and looks Adam straight in the eye and says, "We've both been deeply hurt by Julia, and I don't think her time in the box will have changed anything about her. She is dangerous, and I want you to help me get rid of her."
Yeah, there is tears are running down his face, but he keeps looking Ellen in the eyes, and he nods. Yeah, someone has to stop her.
I think Adeline wipes away that tear with her thumb, and I think she's also tearing up a bit herself. And she says, "I don't know about you, but Julia irrevocably changed me. And that scares me. And I think in the darkness of the forest and the moonlight, Adeline blinks and she gets super snake eyes. And I think she... what is she? Yeah. I think she sticks her tongue out and it's a real snaky. And she's like, "I haven't... Only Julia knows this about me, but I'm changing. She changed me."
Are you revealing yourself right now?
Yeah.
Nice. What happens on that? The big reveal.
Where is it? When you reveal your true form to someone, they gain a string on you. If they accept you as you truly are, they mark experience. If they reject you, take one forward against them.
Adam, how do you react?
Yeah, of course, I accept this, and I nothing. Yeah. If that's who you really are, that's you should be who you want to be. I'm not sure I have found my true form yet either. So I feel you. I don't know what you have going on, but I'm here for you.
That means a lot. I know Fall said that I'm not becoming my mother, but I fear he's wrong.
Yeah, just because you look like your mother, it doesn't mean yet that you are, or we can be more than whatever our parents gave us.
Yeah.
Nice.
You should probably put your shirt on. It's cold outside.
Yeah. No, I think I put on Julia's clothes.
Nice.
They suit you in a weird way.
And I take those sweet murder XP.
I'm going to cut to Fall. Fall, you can track Shay easily because you can smell him, right?
Yep.
I think you track him down to the edge of that pond. It's nighttime. You can see the moonlight glimmering on the water, and he's on his knees, sobbing quietly into his hands. What do you do?
I use icebreaker. What do you wish I'd do? And I think it looks like me sort of like feeding off of his pain and like stumbling towards him into the woods as it gets like darker. And I think I sort of like collapse and I'm also sobbing. And I don't like I say what I want to know is what do you wish I'd do, but I say it as like what do you want from me?
And he kind of like looks up at you and says, I want you to stay out here. Stay out here with me. Don't ever leave me again. I want you to come where I am. And
You want me to?
He reaches out and he touches you, right? But you can feel it's not quite right? He's not totally corporeal. He feels cold. He says, I just want us to be together forever.
I think I want to somehow be able to gaze into the abyss to see if he's actually Shay. Maybe I like go to hold him and then like try to actually smell him like when I'm up close.
Yeah, that's good. We'll start.
Six is 8. Yeah, so it's an 8.
You go to hold him, and he actually presses something into your hands. He presses into your hands I'm trying to debate exactly what. I know generally what, but I'm trying to think of the specifics here. He presses into your hands a bottle of pills. And he says, you won't even feel anything, and we'll be together forever.
I think I sob even more, and I say, neither will you, and then I try to rip him apart.
Like you're just trying to like kill him or destroy him. He'll just disappear.
Yeah, like because I think with him doing that, I think that it convinces me that he's not my Shay, you know, like he's twisted or something, you know, like he's not. I don't believe that my best friend would be like, just come over here, chill on the dark side, have some pills. So I think I reject him, whatever that looks like.
He just disappears, but the pills are still in your hand. Let's cut over back to our scene in the basement of the Egyptian palace. I want to get just past the violence, okay? The lights come on. There's a little click, 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 as we see Aunt Eleanor tightening the bulb, right, in the basement. And Aunt Eleanor is there near the entrance. Aunt Genevieve is there in full half snake, you know, her full half snake body, who slithers over next to Eleanor. And Jacqueline stumbles down the stairs, blood dripping out of her lips, still kind of coughing, looking very, very distraught and distressed. And she's kind of like leaning on Eleanor and Genevieve as she looks out on the scene. What do we see? Julia?
I'm on top of Sophia. I don't want anybody to see Sophia because this Sophia and me, this is between us, and I hate what just happened. Just straight over Sophia, and I embrace her. I keep her close. My fingers still hurt because I pressed so hard against her throat that it hurt me, actually. I want to get out of here. That's my feeling while I look up.
And you see
to my family.
You see the Weir sisters, and Jacqueline, still weak from the hex, kind of like stumbles forward and says, Julia, sugar, you did really good. You proved not only your ferocity, but you proved your loyalty. And that means a lot to me. You are truly one of the family. And she kind of like pulls you in for an embrace. All three of them do. Do you embrace them or do you run?
I run away.
You can roll run away.
I run away. It's too much for me. Can't leave Sophia here, but I also can't stay. And that's a 9. If I can. No, I can't. No, I don't have anything I can do here because I don't have any strengths on anybody here who's relevant. Just a 9.
Choose one.
Well, I leave Sophia behind, obviously, but I guess that is not enough. I guess that is not enough.
No.
I leave my egg behind. That is something I could offer. I'm not willing to run into something worse. And the scene is already big enough for me here. But yeah, I don't know what Sophia is choosing. If she wants to skirt death, if she wants to lose all the strings, then I could imagine that the egg belongs into my family's hands.
I mean, the egg is Sophia's, right? I mean, Sophia took it as her sympathetic token.
Yeah, but she can skirt death by giving up all her strings, which I would interpret that her tokens, because they are strings.
No, I think it's. I mean, I think it's just the strings. I think they're separate things, but. So run into something worse then.
Well, now I make a big scene then. No. I won't go into anything worse than what is here in the basement, because there's nothing in the world which is worse than here. Actually, no. Sophia is more family you will ever be. I will take over this family, and I will be the true queen of the Egyptian palace one day. This day hasn't come yet, but this day will come. And she has my egg, and she will be with me here and be my bride. You will all be gone.
How very, very interesting. And then Jacqueline lights a cigarette. Well, I guess we got to figure out what to do with this body. And we'll just kind of cut there. But what do we cut to? I don't know. I think probably the scene will move away from the basement, advancing time a little bit, and maybe they're just expecting Nicholas or someone else to deal with the body, and you're still down there, Sophia. Sophia, what are you going to go darkest self or the strings?
Darkest self.
Darkest self.
Darkest self. So the witch darkest self is the time for subtlety and patience is over. You're too powerful to put up with their garbage any longer. You hex anyone who slights you. All your hexes are more effective than you're comfortable with. To escape, I must offer peace to the one I've hurt the most.
I guess I would just ask, like, once you kind of like come to and you're in this dark, or maybe they like took your body out and just like, I think they just like dropped your body off like in the dumpster behind the Egyptian palace. It's just like
no family.
I think you just wake up in the dumpster. What do you do? Angry, pissed.
Yeah.
Middle of the night.
Like not even leaving the dumpster. I'm just like, I'm going to get my revenge on that worm. I'm going to get my revenge on Julia. And so still in the dumpster, probably like she like scratches away some space on which to work, and all the there's like broken glass in the dumpster, and it just digs into her arm and she ignores it. And she pulls out the dragon egg. Yes, Lauren, it's just like empty, broken gin bottles. She pulls out the dragon egg, and she sits it in front of herself, starts whispering, draws up a gin bottle, and like brings it down to smash the shell of the egg. And the smoke like wisps around out of it.
Nice. I assume you're hexing or something.
I'm gonna hex. No, I'm gonna get my revenge on that very mean Julia.
Awesome. Which one are you doing?
I'm going to do. I think if she wants to be a snake so bad, I'm going to do Wither, and I'm going to have her skin peel. Like when you get really bad sunburn, it peels down to raw, and it hurts just to have the wind on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I guess I would ask Julia. Julia, where did you go after you ran off? Where did you go to?
I could go back into the forest to my pit, actually. But no.
Just go back and wait for Adam to bring you a ring ding.
Wait for my chocolate bar.
I already ate it.
Actually, I need to find Fall. But there's no easy way to find him. The only person who always knows where everybody is Big Man.
Yeah.
As I learned. I actually go to the place where I saw Big Man at the school. There he was sitting on the roof there, right? And this is where I go because I have like the moonlight over the city. The little shady town of the city, and where I can see the moonlight and watch the streets because I feel my skin already starting to scratch.
Indeed. I'm going to cut over. I just want to find out, Fall, where'd you go after you had pills pressed into your hand and your former lover wishing you would kill yourself to join him?
Yeah. I guess I would probably like drop the pills into the pond and then go to find Addie and Adam again, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Addie and Adam, where'd you guys head off to, or what did you do?
Yeah, I guess we are on a hunt, right?
For Julia, right?
Yeah. Would we have gone back to my car though, or would we have just like taken off?
Like, do we have a sense where she is?
I mean, I think just for drama's sake, we can put you guys together for sure, right?
Yeah, let's. Why not have a showdown at a school where we witnessed our first serial killer thing, and like have Adam and Eddie on the other side of the street as she's looking over.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Just mirroring the shot.
With Addie wearing the stag mask. That'd be pretty great. I love it.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea because you want to get the jump on Julia.
Oh yeah.
What better way to disguise oneself?
Was there a way to grab something of like a weapon on the way?
Sure. Yeah. Whatever you think would be easy to get hold of.
Right.
There's probably a tire iron or something in the car. Right? So.
Good enough.
Sounds blunt and bloody.
So Fall, sounds like they might have taken off. So Fall, you might be just kind of hoofing it. Where are you just trying to go back to? Are you trying to track them or something, or what?
I don't know. I'm torn between like that or just like trying to go home to my mom and be like, something terrible happened to me, but doing that thing where you won't tell your mother what it is, right, but just wanting comfort, right? I feel like that's what he would do because he's pretty soft.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just go home.
Yeah, I like going home. Let's do that first, because I feel like this other showdown is going to be the intense thing to end on here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's probably around like 8:30 or so at this point, something like that. And you get home. As you walk in, you see that your mom is sitting down in the living room, in the nice room, like in the the nice sitting room, with Sister Mary Edward there chatting about something.
Is there a way to like get in there and listen, but hopefully not alert?
Keep her cool.
Cool. I think I'm afraid of alerting them.
That one will answer itself pretty easily.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I did that. Cold is +1, but it's not enough. It's just a 6.
I think you do over here a little bit. You hear your mom saying, "Oh, sister, I'm so grateful for your help on this. He just hasn't been the same ever since you know, all that stuff that happened, and gee whiz, I just want my son back, you know? I just want my son to be normal. I just want him to be happy. And Sister Mary Edwards says, don't worry. I will let Fall know that we're going to begin counseling right away with the new school week. And she's like, oh, thank you, sister, so much. And then they both were kind of like, oh, Fall.
Yeah.
And Sister Mary Edwards stands up and says, Fall, your mother has been telling me that you've been experiencing restless days and maybe even a bit of trauma from the unfortunate events that took place 2 months ago. I just want you to know that we're going to work through it. I really believe that. And she kind of steps forward, and you're quite a bit taller than her, right? And she says, she puts her hands on your hands, and she can see that you're nervous and shaking, right? I'd love to suggest that you still have the empty pill bottle.
Oh yeah, I do, for sure.
And she actually like withdraws, and she has that empty pill bottle in her hand because she took it out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And she shows it to your mother, and your mother's just like she just breaks down, like, oh my God, and like just begins, like she just like grabs you, just comes up and like clutches you tightly, you know. And while your mother is hugging and crying, thinking that you hurt yourself or you're in some kind of danger, Sister Mary Edward kind of like is looking at the bottle. She looks up at you and says, I can tell we have a lot of work to do, Fall. A lot of work. And we'll just end that there.
Yeah.
And Julia, you're on the roof of the school, looking down across the way. This is very much an echo of the first series where we saw Adam up there on the roof, right? And him seeing the spiral killer in different places and whatnot. And I'd like to first of all know, like, how bad is this skin thing getting? Like, is your skin coming off in great big sheets at this point, or what?
It is getting worse and worse. But it also adds that I'm scratching at the parts of which are already getting worse. So I would say it's like a bad sunburn. Does it sound right, Sophia?
Is it maybe even worse, Sophia? Like, is it bleeding?
Well, yeah, I'm in my darker self, which says my hexes are all more effective than I would be comfortable with. So what I think, Garrett, is think of how comfortable right? You are. Ugh. Yeah, think of what's comfortable, and then push it a little bit further.
Yeah.
I personally think for darkest self, I think like big chunks of your flesh should be falling off your cheeks, right? Like down to like the sinew, right?
That's more comfortable that's further than I'm comfortable with. That's perfect.
All right.
I mean, like you withdraw your fingers and you have like chunks of bloody flesh on your fingertips, right? Like it's that bad, right? What are you feeling or thinking right now?
I don't think that I don't feel or think anything anymore. Then I think then I'm nearly taken out. So
and this might be a great time for Adam and Addie to make their move, I think.
Is Addie wearing the mask?
Yeah, I think it would have been like a shot of her in the car with her satchel on her lap, and she takes out the skull mask, and she sort of like takes an anticipatory breath.
Yeah, that's a pretty fucked up scene. One person wearing the mask of a known serial killer, and the other wearing your clothes coming for you.
Yeah, and I'm nearly dying, so I'm. So I think I won't recognize you anyway. So I'm completely out already.
Recognize us.
I think we will probably end the session with you like in this state of horror. You look down, you see the spiral killer standing across the way. You also maybe see Adam wearing your clothes. and I think we just end it there. I don't think there's anything else to do.
Come on. I already took the murder XP and have a +2 to roll.
What were you thinking of doing?
Yeah, I just wanted to kill her.
I like that too. If you guys just want to kill Julia and end the session that way.
We could have like an elegant cut where Adam like pushes her off the top of the roof and you don't see her land or something like that even. Or goes for the push.
I kind of like that. I mean, maybe why don't we say while Addie is distracting her in the disguise of the serial killer and spiral killer, maybe you're coming up there and like attacking her from behind.
Yeah, just unceremoniously.
Wow. I think it's a lash out physically.
Yeah. Can we say I'm acting out of dysphoria?
Yeah, I think so. Because you're wearing
sure, I feel comfortable in my skin wearing this person's clothes, female clothes, and I'm also feeling comfortable in my skin murdering someone. That's concerning. I'm taking a +1 on my roll and erasing that condition. And also I have a +1 on volatile.
Nice.
Also, my volatile already isn't the worst stat I have. It's a +2, so I'm rolling with +4. So that's an 8. Naturally, I'm at 12.
Very good. What do you choose? Or what happens on 12?
Look, I didn't lash out physically in this season before, I think. Or
you deal them harm and they can't react. Yeah, that's it. I mean, and you just push her off the roof, right?
Yep.
I think we cut. Oh, go ahead. I think we cut to a scene of Julia's parents sitting in their wingback chairs, having a cup of tea. Julia's mother has a novel raised up in front of her face. Julia's father has his newspaper up. And he puts the newspaper down, turns. Did you feel that? Yes. Yes, I did. Well, I certainly didn't think it was going to turn out like that, did you? No, I did not. Well, I think we should, yes, probably do something about it. Well, if we must. She is our daughter, I suppose. Yes, I suppose she is. And they stand up and set their books down and walk out the front door. And I think we'll just cut it there. Good. Yeah, we're ready for the next session. So
now, can we play it now?
Right. Awesome. Why don't we do debrief on Discord?
Last time we did the debrief on here and recorded it.
Oh, that's a good thought. Yeah, we probably should. Yeah, it's good to have it for posterity. Good point. Because this could be PSP, right? Why don't we take does take a minute at least. I need a minute. So let's take a minute and come back and
we'll I also need at least a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was that. How's everyone feeling?
Oh, overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed?
Yeah.
In what sense?
I was very close to pull the X card for the dropping of the flash, and I think afterwards I was not totally confused because I wasn't sure. Do I do that? Don't I do that? And I felt so guilty for all the stuff Julia had done in the last couple of episodes that I felt like, okay, I deserve it. But at the same time, it felt terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I think Julia got A. I think it had all been kind of leading toward that, right? That was very much Julia's head was on the chopping block in that sense, but it was also the end, right? We don't actually know what happens to Julia in the end, right? So
yeah.
It's a almost a literal cliffhanger because you fell off a building, so you're not quite hanging and not quite a cliff, but nevertheless, yeah, it felt like a sort of, it felt almost like a Heathers kind of situation with like Christian Bale and Winona Ryder getting their revenge on, on the mean girl at school, right?
Yeah, just to be clear, Adelant was Christian Bale here.
That's probably fair. Indeed. So yeah, but we don't know what's going to happen, right? Like, I think it's like super up in the air, like how that all resolves, right? So
I figure it's like every TV show where it's like, if there's nobody, they're not dead. Like they're gonna,
right? Yeah,
they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
Not sure yet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Garrett, I see your question. Heathers is it's actually a movie, and it was originally a movie from the 80s, starring Winona Ryder and Christian Slater. Yeah, Slater. Who, it's about like this popular clique of girls in the school called, they're all called Heather, and they're really mean, and then Winona Ryder's character and Christian Slater's character conspire to kill them. So,
yeah, they fake suicides.
Yeah. I can't quite remember all the details, but essentially, it's like a kind of like high school revenge fantasy movie, right? So,
yeah, there are also is a pretty great musical made from it.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
it's very Monsterheartsy, and there's trailers out for a remake that looks pretty terrible.
The remake does look terrible. I know the remake has people from typically marginalized groups being the Heathers, which is really weird. I'm curious to see how that plays out. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, that was a distraction, or that was a diversion. But I really enjoyed this series. Really, the whole series was really quite enjoyable. And we got so much done in 3 sessions. This was the most like packed 3 sessions of probably any game I've ever played. Like we did an incredible amount of stuff in 3 sessions.
Yeah, I was super into it.
Yeah, the first session wasn't all that fast paced either. It's like these last two sessions were a journey.
It was the last 2. Yeah, the first session was kind of like, it was kind of like first session Monsterhearts, right? Like it was a little like kind of, just wander around, chit chat, talk, get in, maybe see what happens. But yeah, the second and third was like boom, boom, boom. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started with fun stuff like making Tron prom theme and fun Dungeons & Dragons BDSM puns, and then look where we ended up.
Well, as usual, the impetus is big man showing up, and it is like throws out a little like thing that fucks with your brain, and then it steamrolls.
Yeah, I was really happy with all your guys' role play. I thought there were some really good scenes. I was really feeling it with I was really feeling Adam, especially. I think Adam's conflict was really coming through for me, and it really got going with that initial scene with Sister Mary Edward, which was which was so bleedy and so intense. And to me, like that whole story was really, really like felt really like kind of it was pretty tough. But also, I also feel like Adam got like a surprising amount of like control, and even redemption in a way, like in terms of like just his personal growth or something. Like it felt like it felt like Adam was becoming like, ironically, was becoming like more of a fulsome character or something. I don't know. It was interesting, like more taking charge of things for himself.
Yeah, but I still kind of feel like we got the bad ending for Adam in this season. Like was
yeah,
that's what it was. I mean, like I think Adam is still like in a really, really dark place, but like it also felt like, in the first series, I felt like Adam was like the damsel in distress the whole time, right? So, and it definitely wasn't that, right? So, not as much.
It was good to see Adam be like rejecting the damsel role and being like I was so surprised when you're like, bitch, you get in that hole.
Well, just the way he did it too. I'm gonna seduce you. We're gonna have sex in this box, and then I'm gonna kidnap you and close the box up. And like, it's like
the amount of how much it was clear how much it meant to Adam to do that because of the sacrifice that Adam made to do it, right? So
yeah, and I think the Hollow only is as good as the environment you throw them into. So like, I guess Adam had to end up where he's at now with because there were Adelant could have pushed into a different direction, and it would have ended differently. But that's kind of the moves I picked. Like I have the character tuned by the moves to turn up the vulnerabilities, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have loved to have like one more scene with him. Yeah.
And we had no
also
scenes
with Adelant.
You got no scenes with Adelant. Yeah, the whole time. Yeah, that's just the way that kind of shook out. But
I was waiting for you to get that fourth string, and then I was like, oh my god, like what's that scene gonna be? But you never got the fourth string.
Yeah, I needed to meet Fall or Adam to get 2 more strings on you, and then we would have had our scene. Yeah, but I didn't get that.
Vengeful Witch and duplicitous Jacqueline happened, regrettably. Jacqueline playing her games like she do. Any other thoughts on characters? I was really quite pleased with all of it. I mean, like I thought I continue to love Addie's like sort of like low-key like what am I like kind of thing going on, like it's not as like heightened and intense as Julia and Adam and their bullshit, but like it's in its way it's almost it's a little more profound and like and but also like a little more real, because like like that character, like the Addie character, like feels really real. Adam does too, but there's a lot, it's a lot more like supernaturally tinged, right? Whereas like Addie's is very much like the teenager who hates her family, right? Like, and who does not want to be part of her family. And I think that's all coming across really, really well. So.
Oh, you're too kind. I feel like I was again like floundering for the first 2 sessions, and then like of course in this 3rd session of Survivor, I'm like, oh, I get Addie now. Like when we're wrapping up, I'm like, oh, I get what she's about now.
I thought you did fine. I mean, sometimes like I think in the second session, was very much like the Julia and Adam show, and like you and Fall were kind of like support characters in that one. But then in this one, I think it kind of like came back around, especially as like the reintroduction of Sophia kind of like jumbled up the dynamic quite a bit, right? So I think that was kind of interesting in a huge way. Speaking of Sophia, I'm really intrigued by Sophia. I wish we had more time with her, but I suspect we'll get to see her more in the future too. So.
Yeah, it was a real shame to miss that second session, but I loved the 2 that I played in, and I really do hope that Sophia gets to cause more trouble
again. Yeah,
yeah,
see her again. We got a good dose of her witchiness there towards the end, and that was kind of the main thing I was hoping to see. Like, do we get to see her do some spells? Because that's the fun part of the witch, right?
It is.
Just a bit sad that the egg is broken. That is
that had to happen
ruthlessly too. Like smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make another one.
I think Sophia was like the perfect amount of chaos to throw in to mix up our group dynamics. Because
I think that's my feeling on it too. Yeah.
One thing I noticed was like in her absence, like we went back to being a bit more entrenched in like our season 1 relationship dynamics, and then when you throw Sophia back in for the session, it just totally like got mixed up again in a way that like, we really needed. So Sophia was fantastic in the session.
Yeah, and I like the egg being broken because thematically it really means that Julia has lost everything at the end of this season.
It kind of does, yeah. Julia in her way was kind of like brought really low because she like the whole thing with the Serpentine family was like weird and fucked, and then so she kind of like lost them. She lost Sophia. She is losing her looks presently. She lost her agency. She's currently falling off a building. Her parents are going to have to come save her. I mean, that's the worst, right? I mean, they're like, and they look almost like, and they seem almost like put out by it, right? Like, oh, great. I mean, that is, I think Sister Mary Edward is somewhere like rubbing her hands together in delight at that, right? She's got to be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, indeed. I wanted to be a little bit more of a support character because I felt like I occupied a little bit of most of the energy in some scenes. So I was very happy for, especially last episode, that I could support Adam's redemption story arc that much.
I thought that was great.
And I was thinking that this session I would help to support Adeline to find her way to figure out what she wants with her family. But instead, I found it very interesting to support Sophia, like letting her go into the basement alone and stuff like that. So she has time there.
A scene I loved, by the way. That scene was so fun to role play. I loved that.
Yeah.
The scene with Sophia and Aunt Genevieve. That was exactly how I wanted it. Aunt Genevieve to appear on screen.
Yeah, I was so happy to finally see her on screen.
Yeah. I mean,
and with so much like force.
Mm-hmm. Like she was a force, right? Like we saw her super tiny briefly, but not really last time, but this time we got to see her for the first time, and it was like, and it was rolled out in a really cool, like it happened in a really cool way. Like I thought the whole sequence, like it just all kind of felt really good to me. So
thank you for being such an amazing family, Jason.
Oh yeah. Serpentine's fun. I love Serpentine just because of that. It's like my favorite playbook. It's one of my favorite playbooks because it does give the GM a lot to do, which I think is really always fun. I mean, I'll always find somebody to put in there, but because they are NPCs that are so tied to one PC in particular, and then they constantly want to rope in the other ones too. Like they're kind of like a really good vehicle for like getting in the PC's business, basically. So I really like it. But
I could just sit back and watch like those shenanigans for like hours. That were really fun to watch in the basement.
I felt really torn about the whole Shay fall thing because I thought, well, so for one thing, I thought it was really interesting that how it even came about. Like, I thought it was really kind of sad that that Fall can't have this moment with Addie because he's got Shay to deal with, and then Shay wants this really extreme thing from him. Like it felt like every intimate partner you've ever had who like wants you to do something to show how much you love them, right? Or to like give up something really serious,
Yeah.
So that was really that was working for me. The pill thing was fun. As a great way to roll into Sister Mary Edward BS. So I was happy about that. But I like that storyline a lot, though. Like, I like the Shay fall situation because it's like this unresolved trauma, right? Like, it's like Shay would be like Shay. I mean, Shay is a ghost, and it's like we're getting like a really classic sort of ghost storyline here, right? With that, and the whole connection to the forest and stuff. Like, I love all that. I think that's really great.
Yeah, I like this arc for fall, and I like the ending a lot too. Because I was even thinking, like, he goes home and he's like all broken from this Shay thing, right? And then when he's at his most vulnerable, when she's like, "Oh, well, I can help you out," and he'd probably be like, "Okay," right?
Yeah, I know.
I'll have it. So I thought it was really good and cyclical, and yeah, the pills was like a really nice thing to put in there. Like, I had just run home with it still in my hands or whatever, and then
it all just like just a series of unfortunate events, right?
Yeah,
it's like but anyway, I'm digging this story a lot. I really like this story quite a bit. It has a different feel from the main Mercy Falls series, and I can't put my finger on it precisely, but I do think it feels a little bit more intimate than the main series does. The main series is considerably more like for one thing, I have never put this series in school, right? Like, this series has never been in the full high school with all the kids around, right? It's only ever been these small groups of people, and so I think that's probably part of it, why we're getting that kind of different feel. But I'm not saying it's better or worse. It's just I just note that it's different.
And the school NPCs always fade into the background pretty quickly. The other kids, like sometimes there's Devi, who had, I guess, the most screen time of NPCs, but she was only there in the first episode, and then like a tiny bit at the beginning of the second. And that was her involvement. We didn't see anything of Chad. We had one scene with Sarah, and that's about it. But with the kid NPCs, everyone else was us or adults and creepy supernatural adults also.
Right? Yeah. There's a preponderance of creepy adults in this series versus the other series. The other series, the adults are a lot more. They're more like mundane, but in good or evil, but just more mundane, which I think is interesting. So.
Yeah, I think in general it feels a little bit more of a vulnerable story for each character. Like, it might just be the specific playbooks, but I think the players are steering.
I think it's the way they're being played, right? Because in the other series, like Philip plays Jonas in such a like, I rule the school, I am the hot boy, I want to fuck everything, like, way. Like, it's not like a vulnerable thing, right? Like, it's so aggressively like dominant, right? And yes, I think that's probably a lot. Like, you get these like different kind of dynamics. So it's interesting.
Julia is a pretty good villain too. She adds to feeling vulnerable by all the stuff that's done
by being the thing that makes you vulnerable.
Or using the vulnerability for whatever purposes,
for malicious behavior.
Not anymore. I think she's done.
We shall see. I've got a feeling it's going to get worse for Julia than it gets better. I think that's true. So, but maybe Julia will get her redemption as well. So
maybe she returns as a ghost. Yeah.
All I want to know is who's really the spiral killer. That's what I want to know. Who does it end up being? Who's picking up the mantle here? Adam, you just made an attempted murder, so it could be you, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I wear no mask.
Maybe it's Sophia. Ooh, dark horse. See?
Yeah, well, you know, she's bitter and seeks power. That's a good reason to.
I mean, the mask is like an object of power, right? Getting your
It
hands
is.
on that would be quite something.
I think she's proven herself to make very good decisions throughout this throughout play.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, fall is broken and can be molded by Sister Mary Edward now, so we could maybe he's a candidate.
There's no part of my being that could ever see Fall being the spiral killer.
The biggest plot twist ever.
It would be a huge plot twist. I know. I just don't see it.
It would be Harrison Ford and what lies beneath.
It would be pretty shocking if you turned out to be gruesome. There's like nothing. There's no like Fall has like no menacing or malignant bone in his body. Like it's completely nice.
Yeah, he's too pure.
Mm-hmm. He really is. Our soft boy Fall. I don't know if I have anything else, but I just, other than just like saying, I thought it was really cool. I loved how I was trying to be pretty conscious, especially in the second session, of like conditions and leaning on conditions. So I was pretty happy with how that went. And other GM stuff I was happy with. I was really happy with characterizations, but I'm always happy about that. It's something I practice and I like to play with. So that was fun. Yeah, thought it was a good series. Pretty pleased with it.
From a GM perspective, Jason, I was really happy with the pacing of threats. Like it felt like we could throw our characters into very dangerous situations, and that you would always moderate the threats to what was appropriate to the pace of the story, which is great.
I can't say I was doing it consciously, but I think it probably just comes down to like what makes. I'm always imagining the HBO version of our games, right? Like, so what would the HBO version of this look like? That's kind of, but thank you.
Yeah, made for a really good scene when Julia was like, "No, I can't be something worse than this. There's literally nothing worse than this."
Yeah, and you surprised me too, because I was like, oh, I don't know. Let's give Jason a miss with the Addie thing. Like every time I try to hook up with Addie, it's gonna fail for sure. And you were like, I'm dying for a miss. So I was like, oh, there's a threat coming. But then the like Shay showing up was perfect for it. I was like expecting it to be, I don't know, like Jackie or like some
big
other
man or somebody rolls in.
Yeah, right? Something like that. But to make it Shay, it was like very appropriate, and it led to, the touching scene in the woods.
I was pretty proud of that move, because like a hard move doesn't have to be dangerous, right? I think that's like really important, right? Like hard doesn't equal dangerous necessarily. And yeah, I was really happy with that moment. Like oh my god, please get a miss. It popped in my brain immediately. Like, oh man, what if Shay sees this? How would he react? So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, in our HBO series, we get a lot of mileage out of that fuck pit set.
Exactly, the fuck pit. Boy, it makes you wonder, like, that's got to make an appearance in like Mercy Falls 4, right? Like it has to, like that box on the woods. It's got to. There's no way around it. It has to happen. So.
I definitely got the feeling of Mercy Falls and its like extended continuity through both time and space, and that felt really special to me. And yeah, thank you so much for like letting me be a part of.
Oh yeah. I don't know how familiar you are with it writ large, but yeah, the continuity of the world's super important to me. So I'm glad you felt that way. That's awesome.
I haven't listened to any of the Cthulhu Dark ones, but I think that's
okay. Yeah, well, the Cthulhu Dark ones are great fun, but they're like really far removed from the like the timelines of this story, right? They do explain, though, like for anybody paying really close attention, the first couple especially like really kind of explain what the deal is with Mercy Falls, right? Like in a huge way. They kind of like just lay out there like what's going on, like kind of like just a big open like behind the curtain kind of peek at what, you know, at what is the deal. But yeah, but it's not necessary. So like they very much exist in a like tangential way. So to be sure.
I know Mercy Falls was like a big inspiration for that MH2 town that I wrote for sure. I was like, what if I did like alternate universe Mercy Falls in like it's like really tiny town in Ireland?
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe when I was reading it. Lauren's referring to a piece going into Codex Cold, and I got that vibe. I was like, I could feel it, but I also kind of was like thinking like, but you know, it's, I mean, Monsterhearts. I think Monsterhearts towns always kind of like have a certain vibe, right? Like they always have like a sort of like a pall of darkness hanging over them, and they have like, you know, like that's I've never played in a Monsterhearts game where like the town wasn't that way, but maybe it's just because I've run them all. So I don't know, maybe there might be like a different kind of Monsterhearts setting that I have not conceived of yet or seen yet that's really different. But they do tend to be, let's all run into the woods and do occult shit and fuck. So it's kind of like, and murder each other. So like that's what Rich Rogers always says. He's like, oh, when do we get to run to the woods and murder each other? Because that's how it always goes. But you guys are at least doing your murder in non-forest places, so that's good. break those tropes.
Yeah, forests are for imprisonment.
Yeah, yeah. Forests are for kidnapping and weird ghost sex. So awesome. I don't think I have anything else, but anything else before we go?
You're wonderful and amazing, and thank you for playing.
You guys are amazing
too. Thank you, everyone of you.
I can't wait to continue this. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to put more up. So okay.
Oh my gosh, yes, please.